Pain isn't a stranger you meet by accident. It's the first force that ever truly calls your name. Before you learn to speak, before you ever dreamed of strength or victory, suffering introduced itself in ways too deep to remember. And as you grew, the world's lesson was always the same. Nothing of value comes to the man who hides from what hurts. Look closely and you'll see it. Every scar is a page in your story. Every moment you were rejected or left alone was a doorway. Most run from those doors, desperate for relief, terrified of silence, ashamed of hunger. But Marcus Aurelius understood what most men cannot even bear to whisper. The only thing that truly shapes you, the only thing you can ever claim as your own, is what you're willing to endure. Strip away every illusion, every comfort, every easy explanation, and the man who remains is built not by what he has, but by what he survives. From the first breath, the first wound, the first loss, life begins its lesson. Every blow, every heartbreak, every lonely night is a teacher. The weak call this cruelty. The wise call it initiation. Marcus Aurelius understood this before he was ever called emperor. He saw that the destiny of a man is not to avoid suffering, but to endure it. Not to shrink from pain, but to take it in, to be devoured and to emerge unbroken. The world does not need more men who run from pain. It does not need more men who chase pleasure, who hide behind distractions, who drown their anxiety in endless noise and escape. The world is built on the backs of men who stand in the fire and refuse to kneel, who look into the abyss and refuse to blink. Every civilization, every brotherhood, every legend is born from pain, rejection, and solitude. You look around and see a generation running from itself. Men medicating every discomfort, scrolling away the ache, trading brotherhood for shallow connection, trading hardship for comfort, trading the edge of life for the softness of sedation. They are told that pain is an error, that suffering is a problem to be solved, that solitude is a curse. So they run, and the farther they run, the weaker they become. Marcus Aurelius never ran. He was emperor not because he was chosen, not because he was born into luxury, but because he learned to bear what would break lesser men. He ruled an empire while burying his own children, watching friends betray him, feeling his body decay, waking to the knowledge that every day might be his last, that every act of kindness might be repaid with treachery. He wrote his meditations not as philosophy, but as self-rescue, lines scratched in the dark to remind himself, the only thing that matters is what you can endure. You are not defined by your victories. Anyone can celebrate in sunlight. You are not made by your pleasures. Pleasure is easy, pleasure is cheap. Pleasure leaves you softer than it found you. You are not forged by applause. You are forged in pain, in loss, in the crucible of solitude and rejection. You are forged every time you stand alone and refuse to bow. The world will take everything from you sooner or later. Health, youth, fortune, love, friends, dreams. You will be tested by death, by heartbreak, by betrayal, by the howling emptiness of the night. The only question is this: will you let it break you, or will you use it as the forge? Look back on your own life. Every scar you carry, every wound you thought would kill you, every humiliation you thought you'd never live down. These are the rights of your becoming. These are your credentials. These are the marks of a man who is awake. It is not the soft who change the world. It is not the coddled who lead armies, build empires, create art, write laws, or conquer fear. It is the men who have bled, who have wept, who have stood at the edge of madness and chosen to walk forward. You are told that pain is your enemy, that the world exists to keep you happy, that any hardship is a sign you are on the wrong path. That is a lie. sold to you by those who want you soft, compliant, owned. The truth is harder, crueler, and infinitely more rewarding. The truth is this: pain is your birthright. Pain is the only teacher worth listening to. Pain is the invitation to mastery. When you are rejected, you meet yourself. When a woman turns away, when a friend betrays you, when a crowd mocks you, you are given the chance to discover what remains when everything else is stripped away. In solitude, the weak are destroyed by the noise of their own minds. The strong learn to listen. In pain, the weak beg for mercy. The strong become merciless with themselves, cutting away what is not real, not needed, not true. The discipline of Marcus Aurelius was born from this understanding. He wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Pain, rejection, solitude, these are not curses, but gifts. They are the fire in which the gold is tested. The man who learns to embrace them, to welcome them, to smile at them even as they tear his life apart, becomes something different. He becomes a king of his own fate. You must stop asking for comfort. You must stop expecting the world to be fair or kind or even aware of your existence. You must stop begging women to complete you, friends to save you, fathers to approve of you, crowds to recognize you. You must become the man who can walk through hell and emerge, not only unbroken, but remade. Every day you wake to pain, the pain of hunger, the pain of longing, the pain of failure, the pain of being misunderstood, the pain of being alone. Most men reach for the nearest escape: food, drink, sex, entertainment, validation. Most men run to the nearest comfort, and so they never learn what they are made of. If you have heard the call, you have a different path. You stand in the pain. You let it burn. You let it teach. You endure, not because you have no choice, but because you choose to endure. You make pain your ally, your mentor, your guide. You stop seeing rejection as the end and start seeing it as the beginning. You stop fearing solitude and start craving the silence where your true voice can be heard. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, but he ruled himself first. He did not flinch from pain. He welcomed it. He did not seek approval. He wrote only for himself. He did not run from the solitude of power. He found his strength in it. His wisdom was not born from ease, but from agony. His greatness was not a gift, but a victory won each day over the forces that would destroy a lesser man. Pain will find you. Rejection will humble you. Solitude will strip you bare. These are not obstacles. They are the way. Every man who has ever been worth remembering has walked this path. Every warrior, every sage, every creator, every king has been tested by the world and found worthy, not in comfort, not in applause, not in victory, but in endurance. Do not fear what hurts. Do not curse what leaves you empty. Do not despise the nights you spend alone, speaking to the darkness. These are the gifts that only pain can give. These are the moments when you discover who you are, when you are nothing else but yourself. You are what you endure, not what you own, not what you win, not what you are given. What you can withstand, what you can survive, what you can face without surrender. This is the measure of a man. The world respects the man who does not break. Women are drawn to the man who is unmoved by their storms. Other men trust the one who has suffered and survived. No one follows the man who has never bled, never been alone, never faced the world's indifference. Most men never choose this. Most men die as they were born, soft, afraid, owned by their fears, defined by what they can avoid. They seek the path of least resistance and wonder why they are unfulfilled. They seek the approval of others and wonder why they are always anxious. They fill their days with distractions and wonder why the silence terrifies them. They trade their pain for comfort and wonder why their lives are small. You must choose differently. You must learn to crave the struggle, to love the challenge, to embrace the solitude that terrifies lesser men. You must learn to sit with your pain, to feel it fully, to let it teach you what cannot be learned in any book or sermon or speech. You must learn to listen to the silence, to walk alone, to accept rejection as a sign that you are alive, that you are risking, that you are growing. Marcus Aurelius was not a god. He was a man, flesh and blood, as weak and wounded as any other. But he chose every day to endure. He chose every day to become stronger than his pain, wiser than his losses, more faithful than his fears. His greatness was not in his victories, but in his survival. In the quiet, in the night, in the loneliness of power, he wrote his truth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The pain you carry is not your enemy. It is your path. The rejection you fear is not death. It is proof that you are trying, that you are daring to risk something real. The solitude you run from is not emptiness. It is the crucible where your real self is born. Let the world call you cold, hard, unfeeling. Let them say you are obsessed, that you are mad, that you are alone. Let them mock your discipline, your focus, your refusal to apologize for your pain. You do not live for their approval. You do not answer to their standards. You answer only to the voice inside you, the voice that refuses to break, refuses to quit, refuses to be owned by comfort, by fear, by the easy road. You are what you endure. You are the sum of every hardship you have survived, every betrayal you have forgiven, every loss you have accepted and used as fuel. You are the master of your pain, the captain of your fate, the ruler of your own soul. There is no other measure, no other standard, no other crown. When you wake tomorrow, you will face the same storm. The world will offer you the same escape routes, the same easy pleasures, the same distractions. You must choose again and again to stand in the fire. You must choose again and again to make pain your teacher, rejection your forge, solitude your sanctuary. You must choose again and again to become a man the world cannot break. This is the law of Marcus Aurelius, the law of the emperor. You are not your feelings. You are not your failures. You are not the sum of your victories or your defeats. You are what you endure. And the man who can endure anything becomes unbreakable. If you hear this and feel something stir in your chest, if you are tired of running, tired of apologizing, tired of pretending that comfort is enough, then you are ready. Like this message, if you feel the pain as proof that you are alive. Subscribe if you want to build, not escape. Pain is the only real teacher. Rejection is the only real test. Solitude is the only real sanctuary. You are what you endure. Live by that law, and nothing in this world can own you.